The future. Humanity had journeyed to the stars. They built new homes on distant planets. Some were lush and inviting, others were harsh. Valtoria was one such place. The land was barren, storms raged across its surface. Life there was a constant struggle. Valtoria was a test. It pushed colonists to their limits. Survival often meant being ruthless. Kindness was a luxury many felt they could not afford. Yet even in this unforgiving place, hope found a way. This is the story of that hope. It is the story of Ethan, and it is a story for all time. A story about the power of kindness, even in the face of the unknown. Ethan was a child of Valtoria. He knew hardship from a young age. Orphaned, he learned to fend for himself. He knew the planet's dangers firsthand. He had seen the darkness in people's hearts. But Ethan was different. He chose a different path. He saw the good in others. He believed in the power of kindness, even when it seemed like the universe had forgotten them. Ethan's kindness was a beacon. It shone brightly in the darkness. People knew him. They respected him. They went to him for help, and they were never turned away. Ethan believed in a better future, a future where kindness prevailed. He believed in the power of respect, a respect that extended to all living things. He would soon be tested. Ethan's days were long and arduous. He toiled alongside his fellow colonists. They fought for every inch of progress against Valtoria's harsh environment. He helped where he could. He offered words of encouragement. He shared his meager rations with those in need. But kindness came at a cost. Some saw it as a weakness. They scoffed at his compassion. They believed survival depended on ruthlessness. They whispered behind his back, questioning his sanity. Ethan felt the weight of their doubt. He saw the hardship in their eyes. He understood their fear, but he refused to let it break him. He knew kindness was not a weakness. It was a strength. He clung to his belief in a better future. He shared stories of hope and unity. He reminded them of the beauty that still existed in the universe.
Ethan, everyone says you're the kindest man on Valtoria. Is it true?
Ethan knelt before her. He met her gaze with warmth and compassion.
Kindness is a choice, Lena. Everyone is capable of it.
Lena wiped away her tears.
Then please, Ethan, don't let them lose hope. Don't let them forget what it means to be kind.
Her words struck a chord deep within him. It was a plea for something more than just survival. It was a plea for humanity. From that day forward, Ethan carried Lena's words with him. He made it his mission to keep the flame of hope alive on Valtoria. He organized gatherings. He shared stories of courage and compassion from humanity's past. He encouraged acts of kindness, no matter how small. A shared meal, a helping hand, a kind word. Slowly, a change began to ripple through the colony. People began to look out for one another. They rediscovered the strength found in unity. They remembered the importance of human connection. Ethan's heart swelled with pride. Valtoria was still a harsh and unforgiving place, but amidst the struggle, a glimmer of hope had emerged, a hope that kindness, after all, might be their greatest strength. Life on Valtoria was a constant struggle. The colonists had grown accustomed to the harsh realities of their existence, but nothing could have prepared them for what was to come. One fateful day, the sky turned a menacing shade of crimson. Strange lights flickered in the distance, growing larger with each passing moment. Panic gripped the colony as the truth dawned on them. They were not alone. The alien ships descended with a deafening roar, their massive hulls blotting out the sun. These were not friendly visitors. These were beings of immense power, and they had come to judge humanity. As the ships landed, the ground trembled, and fear coursed through the colony. This was a moment that would change Valtoria forever. Ethan watched, his heart heavy with a sense of foreboding. All the colonists reacted with a mix of terror and defiance. Some fled into the surrounding wasteland, hoping to escape the unknown. Others barricaded themselves in their homes, clutching their loved ones close. but Ethan felt a strange sense of calm amidst the chaos. He knew that running or hiding was futile. He had to face this new threat head-on, with the same kindness and respect he had always shown. He walked through the colony, his voice a beacon of reason in the storm. He urged his fellow colonists to remain calm, to not give in to fear. He reminded them that they had faced hardship before and emerged stronger. His words, though spoken in a time of great uncertainty, carried a strange power. Some stopped in their tracks, their fear momentarily forgotten as they listened to his steady voice. The alien beings emerged from their ships. They were unlike anything the colonists had ever seen. Towering figures with skin like polished obsidian and eyes that blazed with an otherworldly light.
Humans, you have spread your chaos and destruction across the galaxy. We are here to judge your worth.
Ethan stepped forward, his chin held high. Ethan, we do not seek conflict. We came to this planet to survive, to build a new home. Judge us by our actions, not by your preconceptions. Zareth turned his gaze upon Ethan, his expression unreadable. This small human, this beacon of defiance in a sea of fear, intrigued him. He would test his resolve.
Very well, Ethan of Valtoria. We shall see if your actions match your words. You will face a series of trials designed to test the very essence of your being.
Ethan felt a chill run down his spine, but he stood firm. He knew that the fate of the colony rested upon his shoulders. He had to prove that humanity was worthy of their place in the universe. He was led towards a shimmering portal that had materialized beside Zareth. The air crackled with energy, and an unsettling hum filled the air. This was a gateway to the unknown, a test of character unlike any he had ever faced. Ethan took a deep breath and stepped into the portal, the fate of Valtoria hanging in the balance. He was ready to face whatever trials awaited him. Ethan stumbled as he emerged from the portal. He found himself in a swirling vortex of wind and rain. The air was thick with the smell of ozone, and lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating a desolate landscape. This was Valtoria, but magnified 1,000-fold. He was thrown against a jagged rock, the wind tearing at his clothes. He could barely breathe, the pressure threatening to crush him. Fear surged through him, but he forced it down. He had to stay strong. He looked around and saw other figures tossed and battered by the storm. They were the colonists, trapped in this nightmare with him. He knew he couldn't save himself if he didn't save them too. Ethan crawled towards a nearby figure, shielding his eyes from the stinging rain. It was Lena, her face pale with terror. He reached out and grabbed her hand, his grip firm. "Ethan, we have to help each other!" he shouted over the roar of the wind. The storm subsided as quickly as it had begun. Ethan and Lena found themselves in a clearing, surrounded by the dazed and injured colonists. Ethan felt a surge of relief, but it was short-lived. The ground beneath them began to tremble, and the air grew heavy with dread. Visions flashed before Ethan's eyes. He saw the faces of those he cared for, twisted in anger and accusation. Their voices, filled with bitterness and blame, echoed in his ears. They held him responsible for their suffering, their pain. He felt a searing pain in his chest, as if 1,000 needles were piercing his heart. Doubt crept into his mind. Had his belief in kindness been misplaced? Was he responsible for the pain inflicted upon them? "Lena, Ethan, what's wrong?" she asked, her voice trembling. He looked at her, his own face a mask of anguish. "Ethan, they blame me," he whispered, his voice choked with emotion. "Ethan, for all of this." The visions faded, leaving Ethan in a chilling silence. He found himself in a featureless white room, devoid of any sound or sensation. He was completely alone, cut off from the others, his senses starved. Time lost all meaning. Hours melted into days, and days into an eternity. He paced the confines of his prison, desperately searching for a way out, for any sign of life beyond the sterile white walls. Whispers began to fill the silence, slithering into his mind like venomous snakes. They whispered doubts and fears, amplifying his insecurities, preying on his loneliness. They told him he was weak, foolish for believing in kindness. He curled up on the cold floor, his body trembling, his mind on the verge of fracturing. The isolation was unbearable, a torture designed to break his spirit, to strip him of his compassion. Just when Ethan felt his resolve crumbling, a single word echoed through the white void. Ethan. Respect. He lifted his head, his eyes searching for the source of the voice. It was soft, yet it resonated with an ancient power. He clung to that word like a lifeline. Respect. It was the core of his being, the foundation of his beliefs. He closed his eyes and repeated the word, letting it wash over him, pushing back the shadows of doubt. He thought of Lena, of the colonists, of the hope he carried for a better future. He would not let their suffering be in vain. He would not let the trials break him. He opened his eyes, a newfound strength flowing through him. He was ready to face his final test, to prove that even in the face of unimaginable hardship, kindness and respect could prevail. The white room dissolved. Ethan found himself standing before Zareth and the other alien beings. He was exhausted, his body aching, his mind weary, but his spirit, though tested, remained unbroken.
Ethan of Valtoria, you have faced our trials.
Ethan bowed his head respectfully. Ethan, I did what I had to do. A murmur went through the gathered aliens. Zareth raised his hand, silencing them. He had not expected this level of resilience, this unwavering belief in something larger than himself.
We have been observing humanity. We have seen your wars, your greed, your disregard for the delicate balance of life.
Ethan listened, his heart heavy. He knew the accusations were not entirely unfounded. Humanity had made mistakes, terrible mistakes, but he also knew they were capable of change. Ethan, we are not perfect, but we are capable of learning from our mistakes. We can be better. We can be worthy of our place in the universe. Zareth studied him, his expression unreadable. Ethan's words, spoken with such conviction, resonated with a truth that was difficult to deny. He had witnessed something remarkable in this human, something that sparked a flicker of hope.
Very well, Ethan of Valtoria. We have decided to spare your colony, but know this, we will be watching. Prove to us that humanity is worthy of our trust.
A wave of relief washed over Ethan. He had succeeded. He had bought his people time, a chance to prove themselves, but he knew this was only the beginning. Ethan returned to Valtoria, hailed as a hero by his fellow colonists. They had witnessed his courage, his unwavering belief in them, even when they doubted themselves. He told them of the aliens' judgment, of the fragile hope they had been given. The colony erupted in celebration, their fear giving way to relief and a newfound sense of unity. But Ethan knew that the real work was just beginning. They had been given a second chance, a chance to create a better future. He shared with them the lessons he had learned, the importance of respect, not just for each other, but for all life. He encouraged them to embrace kindness, to build a society founded on compassion and understanding. His words resonated deeply with the colonists. They had faced their own trials, confronted their own mortality. They were ready for change.
Ethan, you gave us a future. Narrator. Ethan's heart ached. His body was failing. Yet Valtoria thrived. The alien ship still hung in the sky. They watched, they waited, but their presence no longer instilled fear. It served as a reminder of what they had almost lost, and what they had gained. Lena sat by his bedside. Her eyes, once filled with childish wonder, now held wisdom beyond her years.
Ethan smiled. Ethan, no, Lena. We earned it. Together. He closed his eyes, a single tear rolling down his cheek. His legacy was not his alone. It was woven into the fabric of their society. Every act of kindness, every show of respect was a testament to his unwavering belief in humanity's potential. The stars twinkled above Valtoria, a silent promise of a brighter future, a future built on the foundation of kindness, a future that Ethan, the man who believed, had helped to create.